you're getting all been out of shape for. Don't you know you are?
This is the live feed. It's your connection to live music and entertainment in Winona. Support for this program is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Tonight on the live feed, we talk about a new series of local shows called Echo of the Bluebird. Echo of the Bluebird is a Writers Round series inspired by Nashville and brought to life by Midwest Music Fest. The shows consist of 3 songwriters taking turns playing their songs and talking about the stories behind them, the craft of songwriting, and life in general. The first show of the series kicked off November 15th with Lee Henke, Palmer T. Lee, and Jaybone Bell. Tonight, we visit with Midwest Music Fest Managing Director Abby Lee and Creative Director Parker Forsell to talk about the series, the inspiration for it, and who we might see next at the Echo of the Bluebird shows. We also get the inside scoop on other cool things Midwest Music Fest is working on. Oh yeah, and after the interview, we'll get to hear a preview of some of the performances from that first Echo of the Bluebird show. I'm Bill Stoneberg with Abby Lee and Parker Forsell from Midwest Music Fest on the live feed.
Madrugada, you just walk by and you ruin me with your shaking, dripping cup of coffee. Blessings. See, now I'm just a salve for any pain, ailment, or poverty. Oh, I believe, oh, gee, just tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for.
I'm here with Parker Forsell and Abby Lee. Parker is the creative director for Midwest Music Fest, and Abby Lee is the managing director for Midwest Music Fest. Thanks for being on the show tonight, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
So this year marks the 11th anniversary of the music festival. It's be held in Winona on May 1st and 2nd, and in La Crosse on September 11th and 12th. And but also, you know, beyond the festival, you guys sponsor a lot of cool shows and things throughout the year that you guys do. One of which we just had the first in a series, I guess, of the Echo of the Bluebird, which kicked off Friday, November 15th at the Root Note. And the next one is in Winona at the Burke Music House, December 2nd. And then you also have them Coolie Boys with Wheelhouse at the Cavaliers. So you have a lot going on. You know, I just kind of, and you, there's other things too. Let's rattle some of these off here. You also do some community work like Teen Press, and you're doing some work with mental health. And I want to talk about both those, but first I just kind of want to talk about Echo of the Bluebird series. The first one, like I mentioned, was at the Root Note. It was a great show. I was there. It seemed like a great success. How did you guys feel about the show?
I thought it was really fun.
It was so fun.
I mean, it was one of those moments where it's something new, and so you kind of are always, there's a little bit of trepidation, I think, thinking like, is this going to work? This is a brand new thing, and I know I do a lot of booking even outside the fest, and sometimes singer-songwriter can be harder to get people to come out to.
Right.
But this format, the name is a little bit of a play off the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville, which has been around for many, many years and launched all kinds of really great songwriters. And it's a really intimate kind of setting where people, sometimes it's almost in a round where the people are all just kind of sitting around the songwriter and they're doing some talking and some playing. And you know, for 11 years, we've been bringing all these incredible original musicians to Winona for the fest and at other times a year. And a lot of times people don't get any chance to hear about the process of where this original art came from. So that's kind of what inspired the idea of maybe we can get these guys talking and these women talking a little bit more about the songs and even showing us part of the creative process in terms of maybe playing some stuff that's not finished yet.
Right, which was really cool to see, you know. I'm somewhat of an amateur songwriter myself, so when I saw this series, I was like, "Oh, I'm going, whether we're doing a series on it at work or not." You know, so but it was fantastic. But so, did the idea come from just knowing about the Bluebird in Nashville, or was there more to it? I mean, what sparked it? You know, because you don't see this type of stuff a lot around here.
No, I mean, there are some people that have done some songwriter nights,
series,
and there's a guy out of Viroqua, Tim Eddy, that was doing something called Musical Chairs for a few years, and it was kind of along these lines. I don't know if he tried to front load it with some questions in a way, and it really The other thing that I think is really interesting is there's a bit of an unknown when you put three people together like that, and what kind of chemistry is going to happen.
Right.
And will they feel uncomfortable as artists kind of eyes on them, the whole time. And I knew that those three people knew each other a little bit. And so I thought, well, that'll take some of it away. And then I think you really did see as the night grew that they were getting more and more comfortable up there with the format and being up there and kind of playing off of each other in a way. And Jaybone Bell is just so good at that kind of a thing, the ad-libbing, that it really like fed the night, I feel like, in a way. Definitely.
I mean, when it ended, I was like, oh no, you were left wanting more, really. So I think it was a fantastic success, just because personally I loved the hell out of it.
Great. Thanks.
But so how do you mentioned that these three had kind of known each other before, so you're kind of confident that they could probably work together. I mean, what else goes into choosing an artist for a series like this where they're going to get up there and they're going to kind of talk and discuss,
I'm still a little bit unknown about I was talking to you a little bit off the air just about not seeing some of these people in this setting before or talking that much about their music. Most of them are going to be people that I've seen perform and people that I've seen perform solo, because that's not always the case. People might be from a band and they're the principal songwriter, but they don't really play solo. And I think you got to at least have a comfortability with playing solo in some way. And for the most part, I haven't really encountered many good songwriters who can't talk about their songs. There's something behind them. So I think just about anybody that's a good songwriter that you put up there is going to have something to say. It may take them a little longer than a Jaybone Bell to warm up, but I think they will have things to say about the writing process.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, when they have a passion for what they're doing, I don't think they need much prompting. You ask them something about it, and bam, they're gonna get into it. It's a really cool format. And beyond that, just the whole idea of songwriters and exposing kind of what goes on in a songwriter's mind and how they're working, and that combined with the idea of original music in our community. What do you think that really does for our community? Why is this so important to bring here?
I think it's pretty incredible, all the original artists that have come to town over the last 11 years since Midwest Music Fest started. And, I think Ed's No Name Bar and Ed Hoffman kind of jump-started things as well in terms of getting more bands and people coming through Winona and feeling like this was a place to play.
Right.
And, we're 2.5 hours from the Twin Cities, which is one of the best music cities in the whole country, and we really have benefited. The festival's really benefited from that, and that these people are creating new music and they want to go out and play at places. And luckily, Winona's become one of those places that's kind of on the map for a lot of artists in the upper Midwest and elsewhere, but specifically Minneapolis artists all know about Winona now. And we've been having so many people come to the festival, and then throughout the year there's Ed's and Eller's Island City and Broken World Records. So there's places for these original artists to play.
Right.
But I think we've started to get a group of people for sure in Winona and in La Crosse that are interested in seeing new music, and not necessarily feeling like I'm not going to go out and see music unless I've heard it on the radio. That they have been fulfilled in some way by going out and seeing live new music. And so I felt like there's room to kind of really promote that more, that original artwork is a thing to come out and see, and maybe able to get some insight into the process behind creating original music could be interesting to people.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things a series like this does, is foster that attitude in people of like, oh, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm curious. Foster that creativity or that curiosity in people that, hey, let's check something new out. It doesn't have to be like you said, what you heard on the radio. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic thing that you guys do. So then also, I did notice on the Facebook event page for the Echo of the Bluebird series, the first one you had at the Root Note, Palmer T. Lee was also doing a month-long songwriting residency at a farm outside of La Crosse. Like, what is a songwriting residency, and like, how does that? What happens there?
Well, I mean, it could be different things.
Okay.
I think he was seeing it more as a retreat of just putting yourself in a more isolated spot that's maybe not your normal everyday, as a way to kind of prompt creativity. And there are one thing that's really interesting that people might not know about is there's a lot of national parks in the United States now that provide artists like a 2-week. They sign up for it, and I think they get this cabin and are able to live there for a couple weeks as part of this residency series, they call it. And so I first started thinking about this. David Huckfelt, that's from the Pines, his last album was created on Isle Royale. He wrote all the songs on a 2-week kind of retreat up on Isle Royale, and had hosted him at the Root Note and talked to him about it quite a bit. And Pete Engen, who's a business partner of mine in Cooch Mountain Music, was living on this farm. And we're friends with the Lois pair and have known Palmer. And he grew up around Minneapolis. And so he's he likes the Driftless area and has come down here and stayed for short bits of time before. But he played a house show out at the farm last winter.
Nice.
And that's when the idea, he stayed overnight there, and that's where the idea kind of came, where he said, hey, I think I could come here maybe and stay for a while or whatever. And Pete was like, sure, yeah, come out here and, stay for a week or whatever you want. And he's like, what about a month? And it's like, sure, I guess so, stay for a month. And so, cool. So he's came and is living out on the farm for a month and writing songs, and some other writers have gone out there to visit him. And, Lee Henke was coming through, and Russell Peterson from Horseshoes and Hand Grenades lives in Winona now, has moved to Winona. So, I mean, that's another grand scheme of mine, to get some of these bigger named artists to move to the area.
Oh, yeah.
And what kind of an influence could that have on the music scene of just bringing other people here, and also just people realizing that high quality artists want to live in this area. And I just feel like it's so available to people these days, just because, I mean, most of these people are making their money touring, not necessarily, even if you're living in Minneapolis, you're not going to be playing every weekend. That's just not the way it works. Right. So I would love to see some more artists of that caliber kind of locate to the area here, so that we can have more nights where they just show up and are sitting in and playing with people.
Oh, definitely. Ooh, a lot of good thinking here. A lot of good feeling being sent out about, what could this do? What could, I like that a lot. Planting seeds. We'll see what happens in the scene, right? But as I mentioned earlier, you guys have a lot of other things you do as well. Teen Press is one that we were talking about a little bit ago before we started. You want to tell us a little bit about what Teen Press is and how that works?
Let's let Abby take that one.
Maybe Abby can say something?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So I was going to throw in about the Echo of the Bluebird, too. Something really cool about that is my kids got to come with me to that. And so cool. It's accessible to families, which, some of the later shows that we have, it's probably past their bedtime, but my kiddos were loving seeing that. They both play instruments, and so seeing how things come together and how they're talking about that, and for you to experience that as a family is so cool, and to expose them to that at a young age is invaluable, I think. So
nice.
The Teen Press thing is another thing that exposes kiddos to artists and music at a young age. So in Winona here, there is Cotter High School and Middle School, and then Riverway Learning Community, who have Teen Press advisors, and they get to talk to musicians and interview musicians and make videos both during the fest and then throughout the year if it's available to them. We're working on some other ways they can interview and get some interviews in the paper and maybe even on the radio.
Oh, yeah. I think we could probably do something like that. That sounds good.
Yeah, so they get to come to the fest, and they get to talk to the musicians, and they get to be there during our free time, our free fest time during the day. And then we have a stage where we have kids musicians from those two schools that play their own music, and then we also have a family-friendly stage that is just fun for all ages.
Oh, cool. All inclusive. I like that.
Yeah. Yep.
One cool anecdote about the teen press is that it actually started because of Frozen River Film Festival.
Oh, really?
And it was a documentary a guy from California actually started the first teen press. It wasn't around music. It was just teenage journalism.
Okay.
And he ended up making a documentary about the kids doing this. And it was here at the Frozen River Film Festival. Oh. And then that's where Crystal Heggie, who's actually on our board now, but she was the director of the fest at the time, had gotten together with Riverway and Cotter about, hey, maybe this could work as a teen journalism thing at your school.
Right.
And then the advisors, Mike Costello at Cotter and Zach Craigie at Riverway, both have a lot of interest in music. And so I think they kind of took it in that direction. The kids are doing other stories besides music, but I think because of those two instructors' interest, we've done a lot on the music side because that was interesting to them. And then once the kids started doing it, they really got into it.
Nice. So then are those, I noticed there's some links online. Are those audio interviews then, or just articles, or how do they do it?
Audio and video.
Oh, cool. So they're learning stuff about journalism, stuff about the technical side of things with audio and video, and they're getting to have fun? Mm-hmm. Are you sure we should be letting these kids do this? This sounds great.
And I'll tell you, I think you could learn something as a journalist just from what's really interesting about them are where the questions come from. Ooh. Completely different.
Right.
Like this interview just went to this great place with Charlie Parr because the kids were really interested in his dog.
Oh, wow.
They weren't asking about music. And Charlie was really close to his dog, so he got really warm with them and kind of went in this whole other direction. And so it's kind of interesting that the kids will ask questions that I think they've never been asked by a journalist before.
An adult wouldn't think of those things. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I tell you what, when this interview is done, I'm going to go listen to some of those. That sounds good. Oh, and anyone out there, if you want to hear this stuff, it's up at midwestmusicfest.org. So,
under Teen Press on the website. Press. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then you guys also have something kind of brewing with like mental health, right? What's going on with that?
We have a new mental health initiative, and it's something that's kind of been brewing in the background for many years. I think a lot of people maybe don't realize, but I mean, I've always been someone who had stage fright, and I really don't like getting up on stage and talking in front of people, and so I can experience some of that anxiety, but being around musicians so much the last few years, I've been really surprised at what I saw on the background of it and how many of them do have a tremendous amount of anxiety and a lot of times struggles with depression. And part of that whole process is their songwriting process was like a healing thing for them. And you probably heard Lee talk about it a little bit the other night, which was really interesting that he shared that. And I need to follow up with him about what we're doing here with the mental health initiative. And we really are just kind of in the initial stages of how could we help shine a light on this and what kind of things could we do specifically associated with the fest to begin with, just kind of get artists thinking about it or feel like they can get some support in some way during the weekend of the festival. And so we are working with Sarah Johnson, who's from Winona here. She is a musician as well, but she's the mental health director for the YMCA. Oh. And she's actually working on a whole national initiative now with YMCA on mental health. And so we're going to end up benefiting from that. And I think she's finding interest in being a musician and around that community of us kind of trying to take some of these things and focus them directly for musicians so people can look to hear more about it. And we're still just kind of in the planning phases. And I'm talking to different musicians, and I'm going up next week to talk with someone that works with an organization called Dissonance up in the Twin Cities that works with musicians around mental health and addiction issues.
Oh, great. So it's not just raising awareness. You're actually digging in and helping folks, right?
That's the intent. Yeah, more for us to facilitate that. I mean, Abby and I are not professionals in that way, but we see that we're more facilitators of that kind of a process and feel like we have this time where all these musicians are coming together. And one thing we know we're going to do is probably the days of the fest during the early part of the day offer some things where musicians could come and partake in that before they have to perform that night. Right.
Well, I think that facilitating is really important because a lot of times I think people who are struggling, it's hard to find the help sometimes or even know what kind of path to take to do that. You know, so I think that's really important.
And I was up there a few weeks ago and met with Jillian Ray, who's played down here at the festival and at different places many times, and she was just talking about the hurdle of even getting health care. And that is a stumbling block for a lot of musicians that aren't getting help because they don't have health care, or they don't know. The process seems so complicated trying to get health care that they don't even know how to go about that. And so I think that will definitely be some aspect of what goes on during the festival, is trying to kind of reduce that barrier and people understand where they can get help and just getting health care so that they can maybe get a counselor or get some other avenues to explore.
Right. That's great. You know, I mean, Midwest Music Fest is a great event. You know, if you're into music, you're going to love it. But, you know, I like this stuff that's like kind of planting seeds. It feels like to me that it strengthens the community. You know, the whole work with original music, the work with mental health and, you know, guiding people, giving them avenues and ways to get help. I mean, that all sounds to me like strengthening what we have here, you know? So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. What else can we expect to see? You know, like I mentioned earlier, the Winona Midwest Music Fest kicks off in May 1st and 2nd. La Crosse is in September 11th and 12th. Between now and the festival, what can we expect to see coming out of Midwest Music Fest?
Well, we're definitely doing more of the Echo of the Bluebird.
Nice. Can't wait.
So we're going to do a few more in that series that I'm working on, and I can't announce because I don't have them dialed in at all.
Sure.
We'll be doing more of the Presents shows.
Okay.
And we're going to be working on one up in the Twin Cities just because we're seeing more and more people coming from the Twin Cities audience. And like I had mentioned before, it's such a resource with all these musicians up there. So we've done a Presents every year up in the Twin Cities just to kind of try to meet new people and expose other people to the idea that we're doing this festival down in Winona. So we're going to end up doing one of those again. And as far as the La Crosse part of things, I'm hoping to build some of these bridges in Milwaukee and Appleton and Madison that are also kind of music towns in Wisconsin, and develop some of those. It's more of a long-term thing just because we don't have as many connections as we do in Minneapolis to start with. But we'll be doing that, and you know, definitely working on this mental health initiative over the next few months. And Team Press, hopefully some Team Press stuff will happen this winter, because they have interacted at times, not just at the festival.
Okay.
When there's been other shows, I think they're planning on trying to be connected to this next Echo the Bluebird, interviewing the musicians beforehand. So that might be a good time for us to connect you with them. So you could watch what they're doing and kind of give them some advice afterwards.
Oh, I love it.
We've got the them Coolie Boys show. Show
and them Coolie Boys coming up
December
28th. Yeah, Saturday, December 28th.
Okay.
Those you can find that through our website and our Facebook, and there's tickets for sale for that show.
Awesome. Well, you know, like I said before, go to MidwestMusicFest.org. You'll find a lot of good info there. You'll find out about Teen Press. You'll find out about the shows that Midwest is sponsoring and hosting. I'd also recommend that people go to the Facebook page and like that, so you can follow that. I get a lot of updates about you guys through that, so you know, it seems to work pretty well. Echo of the Bluebird Show, December 6th at Burke Music House here in Winona, featuring Jake Illica. He's from the Heavy Set and Illica Ward and Land at Last, among other things. Also, Lena Elizabeth, she's from Minneapolis. Really good stuff.
Mike Munson.
And Mike Munson. Well, I was trying to think of something to say about Lena. She does play a baritone ukulele, so that's kind of interesting.
Oh, cool.
You know, so I would highly recommend checking her out. I'd highly recommend all three, but she's someone that doesn't play around here as often as the other two. But and of course Mike Munson, he's a local favorite. If you haven't seen him, I don't know what you're waiting for. Get out there.
He's so versatile too. Yeah. I really think it's gonna be interesting to see what he does play in this kind of a setting. So he might go more like acoustic in a setting like this.
Right.
But we'll see what he does.
It's gonna be
really
cool.
good one.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm looking forward to all of them.
You know what else I think we should talk about? That's something that kind of wraps this all together, and I was going to see if Abby wants to talk a little bit about Friends of Midwest Music Fest, that we are a nonprofit.
Right.
You know, we put these things on because we're a nonprofit, and that's you know, our big offering, I feel like, to the community and people that are able to come out. So maybe she can it's kind of another new thing that we're doing.
Yeah, so we just started our Friends of Midwest Music Fest program, and we want you to be our friend. So what we're looking for is kind of a community of people who are joining us in, like you said, a community,
Right.
Because that's where music and community meets. So we want to do these monthly meetups. So they might be like before or after an Echo of the Bluebird.
Okay.
Probably before, because I can't stay up after. But, so where we just get together and talk. Maybe we talk about who we've got booked at the festival, or what people think, or we just have a conversation about music. And if you join us in this Friends of Midwest Music Fest, you'll get an invitation to those meetups. We also have, other perks, depending on how much. It is a donation-based program, so depending on how much you donate, there are different perks that come along with that, including some tickets to different things. One of the really cool things is a special show the week of the festival. So you depending on your giving level, you would get an invite to that special Friends show.
Oh, nice.
And really just kind of joining us in shaping the festival and the future of music in our region.
Right.
So we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that buying a ticket to the fest is only covering a little bit less than a third of what it costs to put all this stuff on during the year. So we do definitely depend on donations and corporate sponsors and grants to actually bring all this music and the other activities to Winona.
Right.
Keep the cost low because we want it to be accessible to everybody. And so this is a big part of what we do, is to be able to provide the community work and keep those tickets low. So,
Cool. And that's called Friends of Midwest Music Fest, right?
Yep. And you can join from the Friends of.
It's on our website. If you see where support under our website, you can either look at corporate sponsorship or becoming a friend of Midwest Music Fest, which is more of our individual donor program.
Awesome. So become a friend. If you're out there, go to the website, be a friend. Be a friend and help shape this community together. I love it. So I've been here with Creative Director of Midwest Music Fest, Parker Forsell, and also the Managing Director of Midwest Music Fest, Abby Lee. And thanks so much to you guys for coming on the show tonight. It was great having you. Looking forward to everything you guys got coming up, and definitely looking up for the festival again this year. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. KQL's always been a great sponsor for Midwest Music Fest, and we've done the show with different student directors and for several years now. So it's been a great way for us to get the word out.
Definitely, we're friends. So if you're out there, come and be our friend. So
be our friend.
Thanks again to Parker and Abby for joining us. It was great hearing from them, but this is a music show, so let's hear some tunes. Here's a taste of the first in the Echo of the Bluebird series, which will air this Friday night at 6 on the live feed. First up, we'll hear from singer-songwriter Lee Henke, formerly of The Last Revel. This is Lee's latest single, Take Me to the Movies, from his Echo of the Bluebird performance.
I won't speak for all of you, but I can speak for myself. I think I've covered depression pretty well so far. So I'm going to jump right into anxiety, if that's okay with you. I find I don't write very much when I'm happy because I just go do things. I go hiking and bowling and things happy people do. But when I'm stressed out or depressed, I don't want to go bowling. I want to figure out why I'm so depressed. So I write about it. This one in particular, this was a frustrating thing. I have a really hard time going to grocery stores. I have to download a map of the grocery store and then compare it with my list of groceries and get my groceries in the right order so I can get in and get out as fast as possible. And usually by the time that I've got it all laid out, the store is closed, so I have to wait till the next day to go. But yeah, I get way too anxious if I don't know where the exits are. There's too much stimulus going on. But grocery store didn't rhyme the way I wanted it to. So this is a song about an equally terrifying place. It's called Take Me to the Movies. And this is my latest single. If people want to listen to it again after I'm done playing it here, it's on Spotify and all the streaming stuff. And I don't have it for sale yet, but you can have it for free for a while. So, Take Me to the Movies. I'm over the hill, I'm over the ledge, I am falling fast. I'm going out, I'm going mad, I'm running hungry on a death wish again. So come on, baby, won't you take me to the movies? Won't you show me something new and help me off my mind and tell me it's all gonna be alright? Tell me everything is fine. Tell me everything is fine. It's overdue. Hope it's over soon, 'cause I'm still falling fast. I'm going back on what I said. I'm running circles trying every defense. So come on, baby, won't you take me to the movies? Won't you show me something new? Help me off my mind and tell me it's all gonna be alright. Tell me everything is fine. Tell me everything is fine. I'm over the fall, hope I'm over it all. I got my feet back on the ground. So come on, baby, won't you take me to the movies? Won't you show me something new? Help me off my mind. So come on, baby, won't you take me to the movies? Won't you show me something new? Help me off my mind and tell me it's all gonna be alright. Tell me everything is fine. Tell me everything is fine. Thank you very much.
That was Lee Henke with his latest single, Take Me to the Movies. Lee said that a full-length release is in the works, so hopefully we see that soon. Next up is singer-songwriter Palmer T. Lee, who is half of the Lowest Pair. Earlier this year, Palmer released his first solo album, and I can tell you it's totally worth a listen, or maybe 100 listens. Anyway, here's Palmer T. Lee with Aw Geez from his Echo of the Bluebird performance.
Yeah, it's so funny you should bring up casinos. I'm going to play a song about how I've never... Well, it's partly about how I've never gotten to play at a casino. It's also kind of Midwestern gospel, Midwestern secular gospel tune called Aw Geez.
Aw Geez. Aw Geez.
It was just before the weekend. They kicked God out of the garden. They wondered why she would forsake them. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Don't you remember that one time when there was that wise old holy man? You know, the one, he invented the soda can, and he named it everything and said, look, now y'all can just hold it right in your hand. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. So tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. Just tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. Don't you know who you are?
I just realized I started this song in the wrong key. So we're just gonna see what happens.
Just to be the dust in your doorstep, to kiss the soles of your feet with my dirty lips, for what I am as a salve against your skin, my mother. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You got me singing, baby, baby, you're so yummy. I wish I could just live inside of your tummy, where no one could see me, no one else could eat me, no one else could even try to love me. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Just tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. Won't you tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for? Don't you know who you are? Now, madrugada, you just walk by and you ruin me with your shaking, dripping cup of coffee blessings. See, now I'm just a salve for any pain, ailment, or poverty. You know, I believe, oh, jeez, oh, jeez. So tell me what you're getting all been out of shape. Just tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. Come on, tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. She just tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. Come on, tell me what you're getting all been out of shape for. I don't understand. You're getting all been out of shape for. I mean, don't you know who you are?
That was Palmer T. Lee with Aw Geez from Midwest Music Fest's Echo of the Bluebird series, which will air this Friday night at 6 on the live feed. Aw Geez is from Palmer's latest album, Winebringer, which is available to stream wherever you do your streaming. This next performer will also be on this Friday night's live feed. It's Winona's own Jaybone Bell from Jaybone Bell and the Restless Light. Jaybone has some new things in the works, even if the details are a little unclear at this point. All I can say is watch for new stuff coming from him soon. Here's Jaybone Bell with Tale of the Sun from the first Midwest Music Fest Echo of the Bluebird series.
This is the title track to my one solo EP I have. It's called Tale of the Sun. And I wrote it with a friend of mine. He had some lyrics, or he basically had this line. He said, bring me a skull with my bottle of wine, 'cause I know I'm here just wasting my time. Then I wrote the rest of it. Sometimes the first line's the hardest one, though. Away, high perch, try to rest on now, 'cause the lions are circling on the ground. They say, tell me, young fellow, how's the weather up there? I say, just fine, fellow, but what do you care? And he said, we've been told when it rains will bring a sign, the stars will align and the word spins right on time. We've been told when the winter fades away, oh, the sun will take the death away. Oh, the grass and the flowers will sprout from the earth. We're prepping up for a grand rebirth, filled with salvation and joy for all. Oh, a feast and a dance inside the great hall. I said, hey fellas, who told you this tale? They said a lovely lady wearing a black veil. And I thought for a minute about what they had said. Then a lightning bolt struck me on top of my head. And it said, we've been told when it rains will bring a sign, the stars will align and the word spins right on time. And we've been told when the winter fades away, oh, the sun will take the death away. Oh, I said, hey fellas, what was the dame's name? Didn't tell us one was their only claim, but that didn't matter 1 ounce to me, 'cause I knew who it was underneath the black sheet. It was Satan herself who had lied to the boys and played with their minds just like tinker toys. So listen up, fellas, and listen up good. It's the devil you've seen out there in the wood. There'll be no rain and there'll be no ball in there. Certainly won't be no joy at all. So spread the word to the rabbit and skunk. Let's grab us some wine, 'cause it's time to get drunk. Oh, we've been told when it rains we'll bring a sign, the stars will align and the word spins right on time. We've been told when the winter fades away, oh, the sun will take the death away. Oh, so bring me a skull with my bottle of wine, 'cause I know I'm here just wasting my time.
That was Tale of the Sun from Jaybone Bell. Hear all of these performances and more this Friday as we bring you the first Midwest Music Fest Echo of the Bluebird series right here on the live feed. Well, that's it for tonight's live feed. So thanks again to Midwest Music Fest Managing Director Abby Lee and Creative Director Parker Forsell for joining us tonight on the live feed. To find out more about Midwest Music Fest, go to midwestmusicfest.org. And be sure to follow the Midwest Music Fest Facebook page to find out about upcoming Echo of the Bluebird shows and more. Join us again this Friday night at 6 for the first Echo of the Bluebird show with songwriters Lee Henke, Palmer T. Lee, and Jaybone Bell. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from Abby Lee and Parker Forsell from Midwest Music Fest on the live feed.
Thanks for listening to The Live Feed. The live feed is produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. For more information on tonight's show, visit us at kqal.org.
Don't miss the next Echo of the Bluebird show at Burke's Music House in Winona on Friday, December 6th at 7:30, featuring Jake Illica.
You feel it with your friends, you breathe it in the air, you see it around the neighborhood, it's more than I can bear.
Lena Elizabeth.
I'll be chasing you all around town till I find what's holding you down, because you got lonely. Shooting up a bird.
And Mike Munson.
While I'm lost in your stories, deliver me a solid blow. You move and I see it, crouched like a crow.
So don't miss Echo of the Bluebird at Burke's Music House in Winona, Friday, December 6th at 7:30, presented by the Midwest Music Fest.
You're the king of cats, the rat catcher.
Friday nights at 6. It's the live feed on KQAL.
This Friday, the live feed and Midwest Music Fest brings you a singer-songwriter series you won't want to miss with Lee Henke.
Come on, baby, won't you take me to the movie? Won't you show me?
Palmer T. Lee.
Cheese. Don't you remember that?
And Jaybone Bell. That's the live feed, Friday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL, online at kqal.org, and on the KQAL app. The live feed is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Sunday nights at 7, keep quiet and listen as KQAL plays the hits from...
What's up with all this dad rock? Give me that mic. I mean, aren't your ears tired of the same old over-processed, bland riffs on commercial radio? Treat yourself to a healthy diet of local homegrown music from right here in the Midwest. Hear local favorites along with plenty of new artists to tickle your inner child and your inner ear. Or something like that. So enough with the dad rock already. Listen local with The Underground, Sunday nights at 7 on 89.5 KQAL and streaming live at kqal.org or on the KQAL app.
Na, 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 na.